shapes like circle, square, triangle are introduced from grade 1. Even the National Curriculum Framework released by the NCERT expect the students of grade 2 to observe and identify shapes. And by grade 3, they should be able to describe those shapes.
So because the round portion which is up, if you put it down, it can become a triangle.
Okay, so you're saying the round portion that is up, if you put it down, it becomes a triangle.
So like if it's fully down and you can't see it, it's look like a triangle.
Okay, that's interesting.
C looks like a triangle because it has all three equal sides and it's all like equal.
Okay.
I think that none of these is a triangle, but answer C looks like a triangle. It's not joined. If we join it, it will be a triangle.
The lot of students that they've just entered grade 4, and so as per the expectation they should be able to identify the shapes and even describe those shapes. But as you'll see, there is a clear gap between the expectations and the reality.
Because the right side of the triangle is bit curved and this side of the triangle is just straight.
Okay.
So I don't agree, sir.
How should a triangle be?
Both should be like this and the
Okay, so both should be
like that.
okay.
It has the oblique lines are long and the straight line is short, so it's not a triangle.
Okay, so straight line should be long.
All the three sides should be equal.
All the three sides should be equal. Okay.
I think it's slanting.
Because it's?
Little slanting.
Because it's a little slanting.
So I find it little slanting.
So what would you do to make D a triangle?
And it's not that very fat, it's very little thin. It's not that broad, it's little thin and it doesn't look like a triangle.
Most of the students try to recognize a shape based on the prototype, the visual characteristics of a figure they have developed in their mind. These prototypes develop due to prior exposures they've had. So, for example, they might have seen a triangle in their textbooks or their teacher showing a triangle in the classroom. But as you'll observe, the prototype that they've formed in their mind, they seem to dominate so much that they're not able to recognize or visualize the shape beyond that. For example, they say that if it's a triangle, it should have two sides which are pointing upwards and the side which is at the base, or it should have all the three sides equal, or it should be in a particular orientation, like it should be in this orientation, and if it's not in that orientation, it will look like a triangle, but it cannot be called a triangle.
It's a shape, sir, which is like we write a ulta V and then make a line.
It has to be three edges and three flat lines should be there. It is not like tera mera.
Okay.
Compulsory to have three pointed corners and three sides. If like half of the diamond. Triangle is a thing which has all the three sides have same sizes.
Triangle is a 2D shape with three corners and three sides, and the corners are pointed.
Corners are
Pointed.
As established by research and various theories of how geometric thought develops in minds of students, students move from one level to another. There are various levels of geometric thought, how geometric thought develops. So first, they are able to identify shapes. And there is a third level where they are able to generalize shapes based on the properties of shapes. But there is a level in between where they are able to select a set of shapes which have the same property from a collection. So say all the triangles from a collection of shapes.
What is there in a
3 edges and a
3 edges there should be.
And
that
3
will be a
vertices.
triangle. So you think C has 3 edges and
Yeah.
3 vertices. Okay. Okay. So that is the reason it's not a triangle. That is why is it a triangle?
Because it is in the correct shape.
It is in correct shape. What is correct shape? Can you show that? What is that correct shape? Okay.
Triangle is a figure that is drawn by a set of non-collinear points that is minimum.
Okay. So which are not the triangles in this figure? Only one. Is 2 a triangle? Okay. Which are the non-collinear points in 2? Okay, those are the non-collinear points. How many non-collinear points are there in 2? 6.
We need to help students not just learn definitions, but even recognize and visualize shapes based on those definitions and those properties of the shapes. We asked a teacher who was present during one of these interviews, and here is what she has to say.
We've never really thought about, we keep saying, when we define a triangle, we keep saying closed figure, and we do say line segments, that is straight lines. And we assume that they've got the correct concept, but only after we saw them answering today, I realized that they have got the concept of closed figure, but not so much about the lines being straight.
Yes.
Though we do insist in, we give definition kind of thing, and we assume that they have understood it. Still, I was very surprised when they all felt that it could be made into a triangle, but was not already a triangle. That was a little surprise.
It has 3 straight lines.
Because it has 3 straight lines.
Yes, and A doesn't have a straight line from down. And B is called a cone shape actually.
Okay.
C is not complete. But it doesn't matter if it is fat or thin. If it has 3 straight lines, it's called a triangle. A is not a triangle because as she said, a triangle has 3 corners and A has 4. Then the B one is a cone, and even C is not because C looks like a maze, and D is a triangle because it even has 3 corners, and it doesn't matter how it should be fat and what shape that one corner should be up. We can even turn it and see it. That's why I think that D is the
I think D is the answer because a triangle is made up of 3 straight lines and D has 3 straight lines. A has 4 straight lines, B has 2 straight lines and 1 circle, and C is made up of 1 straight line which has been bended all the way.
We actually came to know where they are going wrong with the concepts. The distractors were really trapping their insufficient knowledge.
I think it's all a question of visual, what the children visually see, the way we draw, as you said, a triangle in a particular way, a right angle in a particular way. We always tend to draw it in that way. So if a right angle is on top, it doesn't look to them as a right angle. Similarly, a square, we always draw it like this. We never draw a square like this. Now, after your ASSETT questions, honestly, we have also begun to very consciously, in our teaching methodology itself, not only in our assessment, during our teaching methodology itself, we are consciously doing all this, introducing it in different angles and different views.
What we saw in the student responses over the last few minutes was that students have certain mental models, ways of thinking about the world, certain ideas, and clearly these ideas are not what we intended to pass on to them as teachers or interested adults. These are ideas children have found by actively trying to make sense of what they are seeing around them or what has been taught, What is, however, important to understand here is that the instinctual reaction of adults or teachers when they see these kind of responses is to say that, let me explain this again, let me explain this more clearly, 2 times, if not thrice. This is bound to fail. So what we find is that it's extremely important for a teacher to listen first, find out what is already on the child's mind, to then help the child to review the correctness of this idea, weigh it against other ways of thinking, other mental models, to really be able to say that no, this didn't work and this is a better way of looking at things. And our hope is that teachers start doing this based on seeing films like this. You have seen just one concept, but there are several such ideas across class levels, across topics. And this is our hope, that teachers will become active listeners and we will have a chance to teach our children better.